Yes, Teresia Kingrey is a registered nurse advancing student health and safety at Gallatin High School. Welcome in and congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, this is unique because you are a school nurse,
yes.
and it sounds, as Laura said, it's popping already over at Gallatin High today. So
yes.
fill us in on what an average day looks like, if there is one.
There's really not an average day, but Gallatin High School is is the largest high school in Sumner County. So we have around 1,700 students. Around, I'd say, 115 to 120 employees on day in the building. And my daily schedule starts off with around 25 students. That's just students that are required to come in every day. So that could be anything from like a daily medication to insulin-dependent diabetics. I have several of those in my building. Luckily at my school, I don't have any tube feedings or catheters, but a lot of our schools do. Some of our busier schools are seeing around 75 students a day on average, and on a busy day they see like around 100. And overall, Sumner County school nurses are doing around 700 procedures per day.
Wow.
It's really busy, but right now there's a lot of, there's some flu going around, so I have a lot of upset tummies and things like that, but it's not what you think that the typical school nurse does. It's not just peppermints and temperatures all day long. So injuries, that's a big one. We've have had several of those throughout the year, including, I guess, this morning. So I'll find out more about that when I leave the show. I'll check in with my sub nurse and see what she's got going on.
That's
so
wonderful. I'm so glad that you said it's not just all about the upset tummy, because I am known to go down to the nurse and call my mom, I don't feel good. You really have to know everything across the board as a high school nurse. So what inspired you to get into this position and really nursing overall?
The position in general, I'm not going to lie, I went for the schedule, right? Because I was in ICU, my background is in ICU, and after COVID I was just ready to leave the hospital setting, so I came on as a school nurse. But as a nurse in general, I've always had a strong sense of just helping people and giving back. It just kind of gives me a sense of fulfillment. My grandmother is probably my biggest inspiration, though. She was a nurse for over 40 years before she retired. She actually retired, came out of retirement to go work again. And she just, seeing her caring for people and the compassion that she had just gave me a lasting impression, something I wanted to do for my life as well. Yeah.
That's wonderful. You get to follow in her shoes.
Yeah.
And you just touched on some of the most rewarding elements about it, but what would you say overall that is?
Probably the connections and the relationships that you make. Now that I'm in the school setting, I feel like those are even more important to me because I'm closer to them. So like I can't go to the grocery store, I can't go to the movie theater, out to dinner without seeing either a parent of one of my students or one of my students. We have a senior class this year that's leaving and it's breaking my heart. I mean, I've become really close with some of them. So just building those connections and making a difference in lives of people that you don't even realize sometimes that you're making a difference in, it's a big deal. Yeah.
You really are, because we said, who nominated our friend Teresa over here, and what did they say? Because you said you were completely shocked.
I was shocked. I went to one of my principals, who can be kind of sneaky, Mr. Anderson, and I said, did you nominate me for something? I said, because I just got a phone call and I was completely floored. And he's like, no. And I think he did some digging around, and I believe it was one of the teachers I work with, Holly Alexander, who's also an amazing teacher, an educator in our community. So I think that's who it was. So.
That's wonderful.
We can tell you're really passionate about it. And before we were, during commercial break rather, we were talking about how you also love to volunteer. Talk about more about why the community is such an important part in what you do.
It is. I just feel like just living and working in a community, to me, you don't really get to connect with the people when you just go to work and go home. And like I said, the connections that you make are so important. You never know what people are going through. And so for me, going out and like being an active part of the community and giving back, it just allows me to connect with those people and just going where the need is, serving where you can serve, and just trying to make a difference. I work a lot with, like we were talking before, with Gallatin Girls Cotillion Club in Gallatin, who we do a lot of community service. And it just feels good, to help others. So.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you so
so
much for
well
having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Remember to learn more about the Tennessee Center for Nursing Advancement. You can find all their information at tcfna.org.